And I'm passing the floor to Helena and Carla for a presentation of what we have achieved in the intellectual output number 3. And to remind what is that? It's an argumentation game where we collected arguments for and against youth centers so that we can, prepare for advocacy. It will be the advocacy tool.
So as Barbara was saying, today I will talk about arguments against and for youth centers and the development of a card game. This card game is a gamified advocacy tool that helps youth workers familiarize themselves with and internalize main arguments, data, and reason behind investing in youth spaces. This tool can be used probably mostly as a training course for youth workers to learn to advocate for youth centers, but also for different publics, let's say politicians, NGOs, young people, teachers, or police officers. The aim is to promote the capacity to debate, the readiness, the strategize to talk with different partners. And for this, this is the process that we are developing for this card game. We started for the research on youth centers that we are talking about during this week, and we identified the key arguments in favor and against youth centers. Then we are developing the cards, and today you will be doing a first test of the cards that are still a draft. So this is an important moment for us to see what we can improve with you, and then we will follow for the development of the final cards and the game's materials. Let's say the rules and the final designs, and etc. So for the research questions, we were researching what was the narrative around youth centers. How do you justify existence of youth centers? What was their officially and in practice? What was the process that led to establishment of youth centers? What arguments for and against that the youth workers heard when they work in youth centers? So this was the main questions that researchers was looking when they visited the youth centers in the 5 countries. And also we asked for researchers themselves what was the argument justifying youth centers that they were more convincing for them, and what arguments were more effective that they observed. Yeah, during this presentation we prepared some interactive activities to do with you. So this is the first activity, and we invited all of you to go to Menti or use this QR code, and we will ask you about 3 main arguments for and against youth center. So this is a very simple activity lesson, like an icebreaker for this topic. And the idea is that we are going to create that word cloud. So you just have to enter. So it's a great cloud, right? We have as a main arguments that you answer. You have the community. That's right. The building of the community. Also, yeah.
Yes.
Maybe some arguments related with mental health, the support for mental health here helps with mental health. Yeah, mental health again. Also the need for space for youth here. The need for study rooms is very related. The fight for poor education and development skills. Again, the mental health. So we have these arguments related with the support for the mental health, for the construction of youth spaces and youth participation, as also promoting the skills and the development of youth. Yes, please. Spend a good time together, making networks, learning without pressure. We have here the costs, maybe in a positive way, like in a long term. It's
Yeah,
okay.
reducing the alternative cost of not having youth centers.
Yeah. And also these ideas of promoting community and networks, yeah, and preventing social problems, yeah, which is very in line with also with what we found, as we will see next. And the main argument against youth. What means Yao? Robert.
Maybe because it's
Main arguments
Ciao.
main arguments against were related with also with money, of course, the fundings, and also related with the organizational issues like lack of employees, difficult to find a place. People don't know what youth center does.
I said my answer somehow didn't get in, not for the first one and not for this one. And the only thing I think I wrote that I can't see up here is like the spread of criminality or recruited criminality.
Okay. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, this is that issue was very present in the arguments against, as youth center will be places for the
And
growth
that's,
of
that's actually the
income.
only argument in Sweden against the youth center. So,
I feel that arguments against are more consistent than arguments for. They are fewer and stronger from this visualization.
Yeah, maybe more related with the funding politics and the problems, issues, right? As I was saying, these ideas are very related with what we find in our research. And I will present you some of the arguments by country, the main ideas. It's not very extensive, but for you to have an idea of what we found, as you also are from these countries, and maybe you are imagining about that. So in Germany, we found these arguments for youth centers more related with the provision of essential spaces for young people and a safe place to go, mostly for young people that don't have these spaces in their own homes, for example. Also to facilitate peer relations, the social learning, and the conflict resolution, so we're related with the development of skills. Encourage diversity and civic engagement, so very closely with the democratic values. Help to bridge cultural and economic gaps, offering experiences otherwise could be inaccessible for young people or for some groups of young people, and reduce neighborhood issues such as vandalism and etc. So very related with what also you have included in your ideas. Against youth centers, we have this argument that not only in Germany but also in some countries, that youth center may conflict with the parental rights over youth upbringing, and also with the parental education, for example. Also not enough, this more related with organizational issues, that they have not enough candidates due to the unpredictability of working times. This happen also because of postponed use source due to all-day school law, that school have more time, and youth work is much more postponed after these school hours. Also, the lack of collaboration among social services that could reduce trust from youth. This is more related with for example, with the resolution of problems that youth can have. In Italy, arguments for youth center related with the political power, this idea that youth centers can mitigate large-scale protests by youth. So youth are a political force that they want to somehow control by providing first these youth centers, and mitigate probably their protests against the political the politics in there. Also to prevent preventing migration of youth centers, of youth that could go for bigger cities. So youth centers are a reason for them to remain in smaller towns and foster local attachment. Also because youth centers align with the European youth policy, and they secure funding from EU researchers, and the social issues, right? Addressing significant youth issues with preventing measures, which reduce costs along during time. Against youth centers, we have this lack of a rights-based approach, as I mentioned in the previous slide, because they are much focused on this let's say, afraid of use political force instead of focus on a rights-based approach. And a lack of strategic vision, because programs are reactive and relied on external funding, lacking long-term planning. In Poland, arguments for youth center are related with a strong youth connection. So these strong networks by strong bonds between youth and facilitators. Yeah, this idea that youth centers can foster strong bonds and youth and facilitations, and that this could lead to many positive outcomes. And one extreme example that was mentioned was that in more than one place they could do some suicide prevention. Also related with the arguments related with the market growth in youth participation in district councils and budget processes, and local adaptability, that setters can cater to specific local needs, such as providing space, and mostly in smaller cities. So again, this argument that we also mentioned about providing spaces for youth. Against in Poland, arguments against youth centers are related also with funding or reliance, and some battles to maintain operation where youth can be under this idea that, and also this another afraid that they are some light supervision, and the political tensions, and for example, during the pandemic, conflicting priorities with the mayor and city council highlighted this vulnerability to budget cuts. In Portugal, the arguments for youth center, we have two types of arguments because we have let's say, two types of youth centers. One that is more related with youth adults, so more related with the support for youth associations and organizations, for the promotion of citizenship education, and very aligned with democratic values. And also related with this argument is also an argument related with international connection with the European democratic values and cross-border cultural exchange. And in the other hand, we have this argument for, and this is more related with the centers, more focused on the kids, or youth under the 18 years old, so that these centers provide extracurricular activities that address youth and the family needs in education and leisure. So more related with extracurricular activities and the time after school. Arguments against youth centers in Portugal, so are very related with the youth autonomy limits, limited involvement of youth in decision making regarding center activities, and this I think this is this is general to all centers, but mostly for the youth centers related with extracurricular activities that have a more structure, are more structured and more formal, and have less autonomy for youth. Also, with centers struggling between serving as educational support or or a place for social autonomy. And also this is more related with this type of youth centers. And also this is also general concern, dependence on public sector make some challenges regarding with research availability and sustainability, but this is more related also with the bureaucracy that is very related sometimes with the public sector, and for example to do building managements or more that. Now for Sweden, we have arguments for youth center related with the behavioral preventions. So centers address risky behaviors and offer support for youth development. This was the first and the first argument since they created the centers, and it's very, I think, very present still today. And they're related with this safe environment that youth centers cooperate closely with other servers to solve youth problems, like for example, when they broke the law. And for cultural integration, as they are a key role in integrating immigrant youth and helping them navigate social norms and languages. And arguments against are very related with that youth centers are focused on society, on addressing societal issues rather than the youth-specific needs. Also related with the parents' needs, right? The centers serve like a storage of children for working parents, that to be designed with youth and building and managed by youth, let's say.
Those doesn't sound like against.
Yeah, because even they're against are out.
But I think there are some arguments missing from the pro with because youth centers in Sweden should be run by the youth by themselves. Yeah, and not as a storage for working parents.
Yeah, but it's nice to see because your against arguments
Yeah.
are
Are
arguments for us are in favor.
Yeah.
So in sum, we have these main ideas of arguments for youth centers that are related with centers providing safety, preventive care, equal opportunities, and support for integration. And against, we have these ideas about dependence on external funding, conflicts with family dynamics, and the limited youth empowerment. So, after this research, and
sorry, can I just interrupt a little bit? I think maybe because I think there was something missing from, especially from Sweden and I think also maybe Germany, because the informal learning space is really important. And that is also one thing I think everybody has been talking about, like when you're in youth centers, you're not like in school, but you are informal learning. So that should be in the pro section also, the learning one.
Yeah, thank you, Marie. Yeah, that's an important idea.
This is also not all the arguments that we found, no? There are many, much more. I think what you did is to cluster them, no?
Yeah. But in the cluster, I think the learning part is missing because that is a cluster.
By itself.
Yeah.
Informal learning would be learning informally from other people, but conversation.
Yeah.
Okay.
But that is like one of the main things why we have youth centers in Sweden and why it's also so accepted.
And one of the reasons, for example, in Italy we don't is that we don't recognize speaking with people as
learning. No.
But it's not recognized as learning.
No. But if you look at like all the European documents that are like all the countries have signed, this is also really important part. So if we are talking about arguments for youth centers, then the learning part is really, really important. So that's why I also think that is important. Just otherwise there are a lot of smaller ones, but this is clustered. But the learning part would be really important because if you look like what the Commission has signed and things like that, then the learning part is like an argument why we should support youth work.
I think learning also in Poland is very misunderstood. When we talk learning, the automatic connection goes to school. And so this argument may be mistaken by, then if this is learning, why don't you offer activities? And who's running those activities? Those should be experts in the field that they're teaching. No? So this argument maybe also requires more elaboration than maybe those words. No? We will have to find the words for it.
Yeah, that's why informal and non-formal learning is like important to say because otherwise it's formal learning. And it's also like important if you're thinking about informal learning, then you have to have someone, because what you are saying is actually what is informal learning, that the activity is planned by the youth by themselves. Then they are learning something really important, But if to just notice that I am learning, then I have to have a youth worker that are talking to me and we are exploring what have you learned. Then it becomes mindful learning also.
Yeah, maybe mindful learning would be the term. We're gonna talk later.
How to translate in language too.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think also if we want to, we can like find the formal words for it in, as I said, those different, we had the resolution of youth work, we have, so we can use the same words, because if this is going to be an argument to take to the mayor for say, then we have to also use those arguments that we actually have agreed upon, that every country in Europe has signed. So that is like an argument we can bring to when we talk to people with power. Yeah. when we talk to use, there is other arguments and other words.
Okay. Thank you for your comments. I should proceed now with the follow this research for the construction of arguments. We define 2 dimensions and 2 types of arguments independently. So the dimensions was based on these frameworks related with legal, financial, organizational, social, and use participation. Legal arguments are related to laws, to rights, or to factual arguments that justify or challenge the existence and functioning of youth centers. Financial arguments are related with cost effectiveness, economic implications of establishing and maintaining the centers. Organizational arguments are related with the structure, the management, the operational aspects of youth centers, including staff and logistical issues. Social arguments are related with the societal and community benefits of youth centers, such as fostering relationship, reducing isolation, promoting inclusion, also the mental health argument you mentioned earlier. Youth participation are related with the role of youth centers in empowering young people to engage in decision making, leadership, and civic activities. Then we can have 4 types of arguments that are related with could be data, concerns, opinion, or fake news. Fake news are related with false, misleading, and unverified claims. Opinions are more subjective arguments reflecting personal beliefs, values, perspectives, or experiences. Concerns are related with the potential risks and uncertainties that may raise. And data arguments are factual evidence, research, and observable outcomes. So we prepared the second interactive activity for you to create some arguments for and against youth centers. I don't know exactly how much you are, but maybe divide in 2 groups, one for and one against youth centers. And the idea is that you have some time to think about and to create, let's say, an argument by each dimension: legal, financial, organization, social, and youth participation. And you can use any type of arguments you wish. What do you think?
Are you up to it?
You don't have to be very okay. Keep it easy and fun. Just one argument by dimension, and to think a little bit about it.
Cool, maybe we can actually detect what is important, not the first argument that comes to our mind. So this is like a core one, so we can detect which is the first and the most important.
Yeah, it could be. Yeah.
How much time?
5
minutes?
5
5
minutes.
minutes for all. Okay, so very quick one.
Yeah, it's just you divide yourself in 2 groups. That's what we thought, but we can change it. One group thinks about the 4 arguments and the other against arguments, and we need 5, so 1 for each dimension.
Perfect.
Good that you enjoyed this activity. So maybe you can check these arguments by dimension, against and for, or for and against. What do you think? Maybe the first one could be illegal.
You can be a pioneer and develop the new law for each center on a national level.
Okay. Okay. And the arguments against?
That's us. We actually had. We went into social media and the GDPR that you can't use social media to reach out to young people because of the GDPR law. GDPR.
Okay.
Yeah.
What should we do now? To showing images of young people or reaching out through them like first?
No, you can't. The youth center can't use the legal one is the youth center can't use social media to connect or to promote.
Can't use it. Yeah.
No. Yeah, and also
the same, yeah. Informal, yes.
To reach out, and that is because of that's because of law. That's why it would be.
They will have to sign one paper, saying it's
Yeah.
informal too. But we can't use it in that way either because of it's not just that because they are also connected to the United States because United States are owning like Facebook and Instagram and TikTok is to China, and they have different laws that don't comply with the European laws. So that's the reason
We can't use them, because if you do use them, then there might be a huge fine, and this is called a Sheriff's 2, it was like a legal thing, where they did go through with this and got fines to big companies, really huge fines. So this is really, it's a big thing in Europe. Yeah.
That's more, maybe more related with gathering young people. That would be difficult. It's, yeah.
Yeah, from the legal perspective, it is difficult to reach out to all young people that should know about this because of the lack of obstacles in the.
And the young people doesn't have to know about it, but the youth workers can't use it. They can't, even though they know how to use social media, they can't do it. So they are forbidden to use social media. And that is an argument on the legal kind before.
Like private messages on Instagram or having an Instagram?
Having Instagram.
You said there's not have Instagram.
No, we actually had to go up to the political board and they had to make a decision that we can use Instagram, and they will take the fine if someone finds out before this issue was solved. Yeah, so that's why, and this is not like only in, like, it should be a problem in every country because this is on the European level, according to the, especially to the United States, because the United States have other laws like the GDPR, and those two don't comply. No, so that's why, and since Instagram is owned by Meta, who is in the United States, this is a conflict, and that is why you can't use it. But there is also an opening because they have now, I think it was like just a month ago, come to an agreement. So now there is an opening, but it's still the same thing with like all the young people in Sweden at least are on like TikTok. TikTok is China owned. And that's a bigger issue.
Okay. Let's go on for the next one because we don't have so much time. The financial dimension.
We also had with there are no policies on the legal one.
Before?
Not so cool. Better job opportunities with soft skills. Youth center can improve your soft skills and help you maybe to find a job, to find something like that.
Okay. That's more related with the future jobs of youth. Yeah.
Because youth centers cannot really contribute to the financial aspect of the decision makers because they don't generate any income. So this is just a cost.
We think about maybe like an investment for young people, like okay, we can teach you
Yeah.
some.
It will be investment in the economic growth of the country.
I think the good financial argument for would be that it prevents the other costs that you would have to spend if not having his center, like cost of I don't know, dropouts or health costs or criminality or whatever else.
We
Yeah.
talk about something like that. I don't know why we didn't write. But we also talk about prevent the cost of mental health person. So
Okay. Against?
Yeah, we went with the easy one, stable financial financing.
Yeah, that's more easy.
Yeah.
The organizational argument?
for we don't have anything.
First one.
Missing. But there are against, no?
Yeah.
Some against. For example, not for, we write no human resource and cultural center and it exist. Many. So you are
Yeah.
doing our job. Yeah.
Yes.
We all
We were also like that,
Okay, let's for the social argument.
Yeah, okay. We had also on the against the organizational. Should I take those? We
Okay.
had
One.
one was language barrier because if we are depending on volunteers coming from abroad, then there might be a language barrier why young people won't be comfortable coming there. We also had like social media. We actually just we focused.
You were focused on social media.
Yeah, but in this case, it's more like youth workers don't have the skills to use social media. They don't know how to. They don't know how to like express themselves in the same language as the young people attending. Yeah, so it's another kind of argument there. And then we had the wrong hours and also difficulty to find qualified people working in the youth centers and making and also having them like staying if we find someone. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. The social, do you have some?
Yes. For we have a community building. We talk about that if you build a strong community, people don't wanna leave maybe a rural place to go away because they feel that okay, my community has done something. I wanna participate. I don't wanna go away because I like this project. I wanna continue. So community building tend to like stay together in the place and do something, but you don't feel the sensation, okay, I wanna go away because there is nothing here. And cultural change for better, for example, before I arrived in the common gallery, where I was last, say, the open space, then not told me that all the light in the common gallery was broken, and they changed it with this project, so cultural change for better. And against, we have a family distrustful, the family don't trust us.
Yeah.
No one see inside this center what happened, so trust problem.
Okay. Yeah. Great.
And we had a
Exactly
group
what
say,
you saw.
we
And
also had, oh, sorry, I thought the group against was going to go. We also had families, and also community doesn't feel it's a safe place. So
okay.
both families and the community, like people, if you go there as a young person, then you might be considered that you have some problems, or you have a criminality.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, suspicion from the community if you attend, yeah.
Yeah, thank you, Marie. Just quickly the youth participation, just because you have to move on.
Okay, for informal learning, organization skills for youth, because if they organize the activity inside the youth center, they learn how to do it. Boosting the sense of civil responsibility. And again, we write, would youth come, even if informal? Who would come? Maybe who does need. Yeah, that's it.
Yes, and against, we also had that young people are ashamed to come there. And we also had that young people don't want to plan activities. They don't want to be involved in decision-making activities.
Have the work. Yeah.
They just want to be served activities. Yeah.
They want to be served.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you all for your ideas. I think it's very closely with what you have seen during the presentation, and maybe what you'll see also in the cards exercise you will do later. Here, I will just show you quickly some cards, some draft cards that we have. You will see better later. So I will maybe pass for this more quickly because we still have a quick activity, more fun, like a quiz thing that we can do just for ending the session. So for the legal, as you see, we divide the arguments by frameworks and type of arguments, and we attributed points for the cards. So for example, a pro-legal argument that is also fake news would be that one of the ways that inhibit birth rate in a country is not enough public services, so youth centers can increase birth rate, but this is not right. This is not a true factual thing. It's fake. Fake. And against arguments that also is a concern is that opening a youth center with no strategic youth policy can risk in terms of budget lines, and limited organizational capacities. An against argument for financial could be that how can we know if these centers work in our city? But after testing it, it's too late to admit defeat, and we already lost a lot of money. So related with. But a pro argument, and based on that, it would be that youth centers help municipalities save money in the long term, channeling youth energy into safe spaces. Yeah. For the organizational, a pro argument based on that would be that the personality of youth workers is just as crucial as their qualifications. So access to this role should be open to those with natural ability and non-informal education. And a pro argument that is also fake news is that youth center provide young people with safe spaces to use drugs and drink alcohol, and this is very also related with that criminality concern. As a social, we have as data, for example, that data collected by Nuremberg municipality show that youth centers have positive effects on neighborhoods and are a big part of social infrastructure of the city. And again, we have the concern that if youth centers receive funding from the state, they risk becoming too dependent of politicians in power, for example. And finally, for youth participation, youth centers, as a pro-argument, youth centers help youth develop social networks across cultural, generational, and socioeconomic backgrounds by participation in diverse activities, promoting social cohesion and inclusivity. But against, we have the concern that youth centers are used as tool by governments to control or pacify young people, preventing them from organizing independently and challenging the political status quo. So this is just some examples. You will see the cards, the draft cards later, and play with them. So for our last activity, so yeah, the idea is that we will show some arguments, and you will have first to to select which dimension is, and then in the second part we'll select which type of argument is. So it's just for fun. Don't be afraid of of mistake, because yeah, it's also quickly, so maybe you don't have so much time to think about it. Just for us to play a bit. Have 12 players ready. Sorry. Question one, yeah.
I don't even know my
Sorry, I'm very used to this. The first question. Youth centers prevent criminality by offering young people free activities and covering basic needs. Youth centers help municipalities save money in the long term by channeling youth energy into safe spaces. Youth-led initiatives encourage peer mentorship and collaboration, allowing young people to learn from each other. Youth centers can be discriminatory toward adults and seniors. Community centers are better solutions that serve entire populations. Type of argument. Is change now for the type. Data, concern, opinion, or fake. Youth centers may be a cradle of youth criminality. Although young people will feel motivated to participate, youth center activities leading to an uneven representation of voice and experiences. It's a fact that concern and opinion are fake news.
Youth
Youth
centers
centers
can
can
thrive
thrive
on
in stable financing and the security of functioning in the long run, and their staff doesn't rotate too often. Thank you very much for your. We inspired this game in the game that is already existed, but a card game to debate against or for European Union topics, so that we have in mind that, but we want to test this draft game with you, and the next session we will play with cards, and maybe we can collect some feedback about the arguments and the game with you. That I will ask someone, maybe Barbara, to collect this for us, so that. What did you think about the arguments? Are they clear, well structured? Is positive and negative aspects of the game, or would you change anything? So yeah, just to keep in mind that it would be great to have this feedback from you. Yeah, and I'm finished now. Thank you very much.